Welcome back to the Breathing Space podcast. I'm your host, Liz, and this is the space for all parts of ourselves, and in particular, reconnecting with ourselves through the body, through food, and through breath. I'm so happy to have you here, and in today's episode, it's really about a nudge from the universe. And so you may have noticed in some of my posts on Substack recently, and my lack of posting on social media in general, i.e. Instagram and Facebook, that I've been experiencing resistance. And this resistance is pretty much the opposite of the nudge of the universe. It's like I've drawn these cards, so when I pull out tarot cards, and I stopped using my deck for quite a while because I didn't like what the cards were telling me. And that's like the universe gives us signs and symbols, and I was seeing it in posts on Instagram, and I was seeing things everywhere on unexpected emails that would come through, and I didn't like what the universe was saying. However, tonight, I'm recording this in the evening, which is odd, I got a nudge from the universe that I was like, yep, I have to act on this now. And that nudge is around, witnessing. Today I went to the farmer's market and there were homeless people outside of it. And, I could see them literally doing drugs on the street, and the cost of living crisis and inflation and greedflation. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. I realized too in my own life about the tension, the pressure, the money troubles that I've experienced recently. And if you've seen some of my posts in the last podcast episode about the myth of more, about finding contentment and purpose and meaning in the small mundane things and being forced to almost be creative because there is a money crunch, and acknowledging all of that and not even getting into the depths of it and, systemic issues that are at play, the universe has spoken to me and said, I need to do something about this in a way that I'm capable of doing. I cannot solve world hunger myself, but I can offer my services at a pay what you can or a scholarship or something like that. And so what I've been kind of compelled to do is to offer a one-to-one session, a scholarship place every month for someone. And so there's no questions asked. You don't need to justify why you want to have this place. You don't have to give me any reasoning whatsoever. Just if you're a listener of this podcast, go over to my Substack, subscribe, because you'll get the emails to your inbox. Just reply to that email so that no one even has to see, and just say scholarship, or please consider me for the scholarship, or whatever you want to say. As long as you have scholarship in there, I'll know what you mean. And like I said, you don't need to send me a big long thing. I'll just follow up with you with the time and setting up the logistics. That's all that it is. It's no strings attached. You can pay what you can if you want. And when I say pay what you can, all I mean is if you want to leave me a review of the podcast, if you want to, give a testimonial, you don't have to do anything. Honestly, it's completely free, no strings attached. But I do know that sometimes people want that reciprocation. And so simply reviewing the podcast, leaving a testimonial, sharing my work with someone else, word of mouth is huge for a business, a small business in particular. So if that's what you want to do, yes, it could be $5 if that's all you have. If it could be nothing. Honestly, there's no strings attached. This is just my offering to others, because I know in my times of need, I've had, other breathwork facilitators who have given me space in their group container for free because I couldn't afford to pay for it. Or I've even had a coach do a one-to-one session for me, exactly what I'm offering. And it's become even more evident to me as we go through all the challenges of our time and all the inequality. And I just want to have some hand in impacting positively someone else's life. And what can I give? I can use my skill as a space holder, because when we are struggling, that's the thing that I know to be true is that we need the most, is we need this space. And when you're struggling, it can be hard to give that to yourself. And it's taken me years of working with others to be able to give it to myself, let alone to witness and hold space for others. And that's what all my coaching training and breathwork facilitator training has done. And so if you want that spot, send me an email, respond to the email, because the way Substack works, you get an email out every week. When I send the email out, you just reply in your inbox and I will get it. It will come to me. And it's that simple. And maybe in the future, I'll have group breathwork offerings as well. I do still have my first Monday of the month offering, which I think is $25 US currently. So you can come to that. And I am working on some other kind of different ways of working with me at different price points. If you want access to the 30 days of breathwork, that's of course available on Substack as well. I'm starting to channel most of my work towards Substack and getting off of Instagram for my own mental health. I don't know if I'll get off Instagram fully, but we'll see how I feel. It's so funny because another nudge from the universe is today I discovered a couple new people on Substack, and they had posts about leaving Instagram. And one of the blogs that I've followed for a while, she posted 5 days ago about leaving Instagram. And it just kind of is this theme that I've talked about with my friends. And the reason I'm not on TikTok at all is purely for mental health reasons. And, clawing back my attention and my energy to myself. We talk about boundaries and things, and how you need to when we're reconnecting, draw things back to ourselves. And that includes social media, because I noticed myself, I never even used Instagram on a personal level until I got a business. And is it really where I want to be sending my time and energy? And anyway, that's a topic for another podcast episode. But this is me following the nudge from the universe. It feels very good, very aligned to me to offer this scholarship, this place. Maybe scholarship's not the right word. Maybe I'll change the word in the future. But for right now, I just had to get that out there from my heart to whoever needs this. And if you want to book a one-to-one session, you are free to do that to support me, to support yourself, really. Like a one-to-one session is purely for you. So I will leave the links down below for that. I'll leave a link if you want to contribute towards perhaps more sessions for other people. I'll leave a little PayPal link and you can contribute however much you want. And I will be putting that in the pool of how many scholarships I'm able to offer going forward. Just as a community, supporting the community. Like, I was watching this documentary about Amish people. I know this sounds random, but I swear it's connected. So I was watching this documentary around Amish people, and they don't use technology, like they're not on the electrical grid even. But the thing that really stood out to me was not only that they actively choose not to adopt all the modern advancements, because I hadn't even questioned, like, my family, generations before me, they get electricity, they got became available, they got it. We didn't question it, and I continued that way. And, as we moved into computers and adopting that, and cell phones, and then smartphones, and all the different social media apps, and I never even saw it as a choice not to do this. This was just the environment. And so I find that these things actually disconnect me, at least, if not society as a whole. It's like a false sense of connection, these parasocial relationships that we have online, where there's no time and place connected to it. It's not very grounded. Anyway, aside from that, in the Amish community, so they choose this way of being. I was like, why did they choose this? Because when they come of age, they're allowed to make the choice of whether they want to remain in the community or whether they want to go out and join the masses, the quote-unquote normal, average people, I guess you could see, the non-Amish, I was going to say. And overwhelmingly, I think it's almost 90%, somewhere in the realm of 80 to 90%, I can't actually remember the statistic, but I remember it was over 80%, decide to continue being Amish and to remain in the community. And then I got it. I was like, it's a community. They show about, this is in the US where there isn't universal healthcare. I'm Canada, so that just boggles my mind. But the Amish have a clinic that's supported and funded by the community itself, where they can go see a doctor and get medical treatment. And it's funded by, the local community, the successful businesses, whoever's earning money, they contribute to this clinic. And I was like, it's a community, it's a way of life they've all chosen, and their loved ones are all part of it, and they support one another. There was another instance where a child had been born with a disability, and so they all banded together and created like a drive where they collected things that the family would need, and they went and they delivered it, and they stayed and they helped them take care of the child. And there was this sense of community that I don't see very often in our non-Amish life. And so I really want to focus, my intention behind this is to foster a loving, supportive community, with space for everyone to be themselves. Like, that's the whole thing with space breathwork. And so this was my nudge from the universe that I'm sharing with you. Send me an email. Go subscribe to Substack. Send me an email response of, please hold a session for me. You can even just say, like, scholarship session. It's for me, please. I don't know how you want to phrase it, but just send me an email. I'd love to hear back from you. If you don't want the scholarship, if you want to send me an email, go right ahead. I don't know if many people understand that's one of the functions of Substack, is that it is an email kind of platform. It's not a CRM like other kind of ways of sending mailing list emails. It's unique in that way. But if you do respond to the email you get in your inbox from the Breathing Space Substack, it does come to my email directly. So, which I think is pretty cool. So I can have a dialogue there, because, like I said, the intention is to build community. That's why the weekly posts now have like post your own photo, and I just want to have that interaction. It's very, I think maybe this is also why I have issues with social media. You put all this stuff out there and people are maybe seeing it and interacting with it, but there's like this disconnect of, I don't often get very much back towards me. I do somewhat, but not that much. So I'd like to hear from the members of this little community that we have here. So send me an email if you want a scholarship. If you just want to chat, I'm here. So that's following the nudge from the universe as I feel ready in this moment, because the universe also gives other nudges, and sometimes we have resistance to it. And I have a post on that coming out this week, actually. When you listen to this episode, maybe it's already out. I'm not sure about that. But it's about, having resistance and moving through it, letting it be, having space. So, sending you guys lots of love, and I will catch you next time. Don't forget to join me over at Substack. That's where I'm going to be posting the most. And you can join us for our community breathwork the first Monday of every month. That's the breathing space. And you can also sign up for a one-to-one session. So, sending you lots of love. Peace.